are back with round 2 of the Guff 4. It's still Guff half K, but first prize is now 400 and second is 100. So we're still chucking out half K somewhere in there. Mad stacks.
Mad stacks. Mad stacks for the prizes.
So heading into our round 2 feature match, we've got another unconventional deck paired against a somewhat more conventional deck. So we're looking at a Nurse Reficule anti-cure burn deck shenanigansy type thing versus a what looks like a fairly standard Shaddoll build. So we'll just grab some deck lists. Yeah, it looks like a very, very standard Shaddoll-ish build.
Okay, so we have a Chauncey Smith playing a from what you said, yeah, pretty standard artifact Shaddoll deck.
And for the Nurse Reficule burn thing, this deck, it's like really, really old and it's been around for ages, but it's never really done anything.
Well, like, it's the kind of deck you occasionally lose to at locals because if they run well, you just don't get a turn.
Yeah.
It's just standby phase, 9,000 you.
It doesn't help that the main card is a game promo that actually doesn't exist. Like, the hardest part about building a Reficule deck is I need to find
Finding
3
the nurses, yeah.
So, Cody Matthews only has 2. Well, that's only because he can find only 2.
There might be some card available. No, he side decks this third.
Oh.
I want to know what he brings that in against.
Oh, good.
Like, oh, man. You know what this matchup needs? More of my only win condition.
But this deck, like, has evolved a little bit in the last couple of years, like, recently.
Well, it got the
try and guess.
Yeah, flip your fusion deck over.
Yeah, which is, like, gift cards 6 through 9, which, 4 through 6, which is nice. It also... People are running like a lot of like Life Equalizer and Hope for Escape now.
Well,
so there's the old play of like instead of just gift carding them for 3k, you can like gift card them, they gain the 3k, you draw a bunch of cards, then you Life Equalizer them down to like what makes them 3k. Then you only need 1 gift card to kill them, not like 3.
That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so you can draw the cards
rather than needing the old Nurse or Samuchi and triple gift card or try and guess to kill them.
Yeah, you just need to draw into the Life Equalizer a way to make them, like a way for them to gain life points. And like you run the upside goblins obviously anyway. And it means that if you do start a bit slower and you only have the heal cards but none of the anti-heal cards, you can just heal them up to 10k, draw like a Life Equalizer, any one of Nurse or Samochi, and any burn card basically, and kill them, which is pretty decent.
Sound like you've put some time into playing this deck, Dan.
This deck is very, very fun to play if you just don't feel like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And you feel like occasionally just wombo comboing them. So it looks like they've started out already. Just this. So it seems like we might have had a very standard Shaddoll opening of set a monster, set a back row. Yep, that's the Scott Martyr, popping the monster. Oh no, there's no monster on the field. Looks like he might just be going in for beats.
So, beats are good.
So Chauncey's playing the Glow Up Bulb and also looks like an artifact engine as well.
Yeah, he has the artifact engine in there with his 2 Ignition, no MSDs, triple Sanctum, and then the 3 Morotech and a Beagle.
We can be more Australian if you would like, stream watchers. Just like, oh, Struth, mate, that Squat Martyr's really getting in there. Flat out like a lizard
there's
drinking.
that there Sanctum, mate. That's heck his ass.
Flat out like a lizard drinking, mate.
Well, I can't top that.
That's too Australian. We've hit our peak.
Flat out like a lizard drinking.
So he's literally just summoning the moral attack for beats, right? Like that's the play.
I would assume so. I mean, at this point, when your opponent's just kind of set for and not doing anything, you either assume they just have a weak, unsynergistic hand, or they're playing some kind of jerky burn deck.
But the issue is with the way Cody's deck works, he kind of like half wants to take damage. Like because he can, if he has like Wabakus and Threatening Roar set, he can just like take down to like maybe 4k, like where it's safe, draw a bunch more cards of Hope for Escape than he normally would have. And it makes it much easier to get that whole Life Equalizer wombo combo off.
Hope for Escape's really important because it's pretty much the only card advantage draw spell that he has, right?
Yeah, and I mean
all the other ones are either a minus or just a 1-for-1.
And Chauncey's not playing MST, right?
He has 2 Ignition.
Yeah.
And no MSTs.
So he's running like 2 Ignition, which means he can Ignition in response to something to stop it, but like
he also has Shadow Games for Dragon as a way to deal with
But the whole problem with that is like if Cody goes like activate gift card chain equalizer, chain Samochi.
Yeah, you can't dragon.
Yeah, you can't go, oh, I'll flip my Shadow Games and then Dragon you.
Yeah,
like,
we aren't Magic.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We can't magic stack this guy. So you like not running the MSTs. I mean, he could just get Womboed.
Yeah, in saying that though, he does have the triple Typhoon in the side, a couple Mind Crushers.
I imagine that will come in.
Yeah. Mind Crush always feels good against these burn decks.
One of the best things about Cody's deck is obviously if he's running Triangus, he has to run the extra deck. It includes Pair Psychoroid, Amulet Dragon, Gem Knight Prismora, Elemental Hero Rampart Blaster, and Rainbow Neos. So obviously any
the
15
old
fusions will
Rainbow
do,
Neos.
but I really like looking at Refikil deck lists, and they've gone for the flavor option of just running like a bunch of really random fusion cards.
Nice little bit of self-expression, I suppose.
Yeah, bit of creativity, or you have room to do when it's literally like any 15 fusions.
Any 15 will do.
So here we go.
Here we are with Cody with the first Hope for Escape.
Yeah. So this is
Put him down to 26 and draw, what, 2 cards?
So the difference will be what, 5k-ish. So yeah, it's 2 cards. It's 1 for every 2,000, right?
Yep.
So you just end phase pot agreed. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it ain't bad. The only issue is the cards he's drawing into are, you know, Nurse Refugees and I would like to not die this turn cards.
That being said, having I'd like to not die this turn cards sometimes just gets you there, especially when you just one day them. One day being limited is like, when that card was at 3, it was pretty insane for anything that was like a sweet FTK deck and just needed to draw cards because you did not care if your opponent drew
No,
cards.
it was actually... I mean, the only reason I liked One Day at 3 is there was this pretty sweet Heraldic deck that had the triple One Day in it.
Yeah.
And I was playing that at the time. But it's so much nicer that Final Countdown now don't just have the One Day. Because it just does everything you want. Like, usually your store cards are a minus and the One Day was just it's cycled, so...
Or even like
real obnoxious.
I believe that was an attempt to Lava Golem after a Pot of Value was activated. Wow. Incorrect. But I mean, playing a sort of FTK, even like the whole you don't die thing was like nice, but it was mostly the here's my 3 extra Upstart Goblins. Because if your opponent doesn't get a turn, it doesn't matter if they have a lot of cards in their hand.
I mean, it just made the Countdown deck really, really good.
Oh, he just Ignition hits the Hope for Escape.
Yeah. That's what he deserves.
Playing weird traps. Traps we have to Google to find out what they do. The worst. So again, this is the whole thing where like Cody's like definitely like getting beaten on a little bit, but at the same time, it's quite possible he does just have a lot of you're not gonna die cards.
It is. I feel like that the Chauncey here should really endeavor to try and make Armades. It's pretty much just and just keep Armades as his only monster on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like that's always the best way to beat the burn decks with Shaddolls is just end phase their back row as much as you can and just attack with only Armades.
But I mean, this isn't really traditional burn either. Like, it's not like he's gonna get magic cylindered out of the game. Although
That's true.
He is side decking them, but
he's side decking his traditional burn, sure.
Yeah.
It's more one of those. I mean, the Nurse burn deck to me has always been one of those. You look at your opening 5 and you go, "Can I win this game? No. Guess I lose."
I always only play Nurse Burn if I'm playing for fun, because anytime I'm playing Nurse Burn, I always just think to myself, if my plan is to go like gift card, Samochi, why am I not just playing like Chain Burn? Which does exactly the same thing, except instead of having to be like these 4 specific cards and pray they don't have an MST, it's just like every card in your deck does damage or draws cards.
Yeah. I mean, your definition of fun is way different than mine.
Winning unconventionally is fun.
It's...
Samochi Life Equalizer, flip a gift card and watch them have to read every single card that you just played and then slowly come to the realization that means
they
that
just
they're
trap
dead.
stun you and you lose.
You don't. You just... Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yes. That is the thing that happens
You just
a lot.
lose to the trap stun.
That is the thing that happens a lot, admittedly.
What you deserve.
We're going to get a judge call. I predict this using my psychic powers in that I can literally see them getting up. Yes.
Okay,
happened.
so I'm assuming probably something to do with Chauncey wants to know whether or not his... Oh, okay. With Lava Golem versus El Shaddoll Fusion, he wants to know if he can, fuse the monsters in response to them being sacked, which you obviously can't because, Lava Golem's a cool guy and tributes his cost to summon himself. So let's actually just real interesting.
Interesting. Lava
Does
Golem not
Chauncey
defense.
have one of them Shaddoll Gristas? He does not. Not playing around the Lava Golem by having a Grista.
No. See? And that's the kind of mistake that
So
just
actually
costs
an
you the
interesting
game.
thing. Does this count as Cody's one special summon for the turn, or does it count as Chauncey's one special summon for the turn?
Oh, with the window?
Yeah.
It would be Cody's.
Okay, I
Yeah,
figured as much.
You special summon the monster. It's the reason you can't do it on duality. Because
Yep,
otherwise,
yep.
if it was your opponent's, you could theoretically duality and then be like, but it doesn't say you can't special summon. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Same way as, you can't O Geometry after dualitying and such, right?
Correct. You still special summon.
Good times.
Interesting. He does run the Geometry, which is kind of cute for the burn deck because obviously it's like Geometry is a pretty cute side card. I know everyone at this tournament was like madly trying to
He's
get
in
it
mad
this morning.
hustling for him this morning, yeah.
But pretty cute against Burning Abyss, flipping in a Geometry and sort of like Regaheing their field
Mhm.
and then locking them under the 3 tokens. But I mean, in a burn deck, just the extra utility of like, oh, also it burns them is like kind of nice.
Ooh, this is really handy here. We have Chauncey going for Durandal, which is really going to limit Cody's options.
So he can just Durandal for the you don't die.
That's what, try and guess?
Yeah. So the cool
Try and guess is just either I want to gain 3k or you want to gain
well,
3k,
unless
right?
you basically have an extra deck of 15 fusions.
Yeah.
So if you call, like your opponent's never gonna have 15 fusions, if that makes sense.
Oh, clearly not.
So it's always gonna be like, you're either like you go call fusions and you're always going to win, or you call like Xyz and you're always gonna lose. And then if you lose and you have a Smochi up, they take 3k.
Yeah, makes sense.
So Cody just flips 2 under Samochi and then Swiss Scarecrowed his opponent. So now Chauncey is sitting comfortably on 1,000 life points with a Samochi on board and is probably really hoping that Cody doesn't have an Upside Goblin in his hand, although it does have the Durandal, so it's kind of irrelevant anyway, I suppose.
It is. Can Durandal be used more than once a turn?
I don't know. Also, interestingly, the Lava Golem's going to burn him for 1,000.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll get you there.
So I'm pretty sure unless he can like fuse out of it or stop, he can kind of just pass, right? Because doesn't Durandal say when your opponent activates...
Normal spell, normal trap, or monster effect.
Yeah, so...
oh no, when a monster effect is activated on the field. That is interesting. So we can actually...
So he can
Durandal
Durandal the Lava Golem. Oh,
think
is
he
it?
can.
But it's to say opponent. No.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
When a monster effect is activated on the field, or when a normal spell or trap is activated, you can detach one from this card.
So fusion for constructs and dragon pops emoji is kind of nice. Yeah, but it's interesting that he can Durandal the Lava Golem on his side of the field
That's pretty cute.
in order to not die.
Not gonna lie, that is pretty adorable.
Although now he has a construct.
I'm assuming he's going to tribute over the Lava Golem here with the Beast.
He'd probably want to.
Seems like he wants to get that off the field pretty soon.
Yeah. I ideally wouldn't keep it there. Just casually passes it back. You can have your guy.
Here you go, Chief.
So, real question right now is, Cody has 1 card in hand and he isn't drawing. Can he not die? That's it. That's the only question.
I'm going to say outlook not so good.
Yep. No, that's fair. I definitely say that's fair. I mean, even if it's a Wabaku, I don't see what 1 card... It's a threatening roll.
Threatening roll.
I don't see what 1 card he can draw next turn.
I mean, has he got anything that's just going to one-shot for 1k? What does Trap of Darkness do?
It's a pay 2k, pick a when your life points are less than 3,000, pay like 1,000. It steals the effect of a normal trap in your grave and then banishes that normal trap. So it's basically gift cards 6 through 9.
Right.
But you can also copy Wabakus, you can copy Threatening Roars.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, I guess.
You can copy like Hopes for Escape because like at that point you're like paying 1,000 and it's exactly a Hope for Escape.
So I guess Trap of Darkness is his best draw here.
I'm not sure what it does.
That's
though.
handy.
Nah, he dies. Unless he draws the Scarecrow, he straight dies.
You know what burn players like? They always get there.
Although, yeah, the problem is like with this being like a
Oh damn.
The problem with this being
sweet burn.
A less than traditional burn deck is that pretty much every card that burns is a 2-card combo.
Yes, that is a big deal.
So once you start drawing 1 card a turn, it's not good enough to just be like, I drew a card that stops me dying, I drew a card that stops me dying, I drew a card that kills you. Because it's always going to be, I drew a card that stops me dying, I drew half of what would kill you, and then I died.
Yes.
And yeah.
The kind of cool thing about the Nurse deck, though, is against a normal chain burn deck, you sort of just try to minus as many cards as you can while summoning one monster and just attacking them over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas against this one, that strategy really doesn't work all that well
Yeah.
because you can just
Uh,
die out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Like, if Chainburn kind of relies on you having infinite monsters and stuff like that, so that they can like secret battle you for 1,000,000 and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they're real big payoff cards are the Just Desserts and such.
This deck is actually like, no, you have to kill him.
Yeah.
It's similar to Final Countdown, where like there was no like
Oh, man.
the one format where Final Countdown was like a okay meta call.
Yeah, because it was, what, like 5 Final Countdowns and 35 other draw or not die cards.
Yeah, you couldn't be like, oh, I'll just let the Final Countdown. Chauncey won, not Cody, by the way. Yeah. You couldn't just be like, oh, I'll just not kill the Final Countdown guy. It's like, no, that's what he wants you to sit there for 20 turns. Like, that's the
Yep.
game. So, you actually, the pressure was on you to kill them, whereas, like, with Chainburn, the pressure's on them.
I lost so many games against Countdown back in the day because I was playing Piper at the time, which was a deck that had a Dirtle around a bunch in the start of the game.
Yeah.
Just Countdown you turn 1, and it's like, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. I was always a big fan of, you'd have, like, 3 set spells and traps, so they'd set 4 cards,
Yep.
just in case all 3
Just
were
in case all
MSTs.
3 were MSTs, yeah. But they'd always set 1 more than you had.
Or they'd just
And I found like pretty much the only
same
way
amount and have the Scarecrow.
pretty much the only way you could ever win those games is if you warninged their Battle Fader and it was the only one they had.
Yeah.
Which did get you there because you did have a decent amount of time to draw into all of your deck and had a good amount of warnings there. So do you think that Cody's gone into sided into the
Traditional
burn deck? Yeah.
It's things like,
That's a Samochi, right?
there's always the whole thing of like, do you side against what your opponent optimally should do, or what you think they'll do? So, for example, like if Chauncey, he has MST for Smudgy. It seems like if Chauncey, like, was thinking this through, he would probably have assumed he's siding a traditional burn, and he'd do the whole Armades only swing with one thing. If he hasn't thought it through, it's quite possible he'll be like, oh, I'll just summon 5 dudes a second time, and then Cody will be like, just desserts. Like,
I mean, I have no idea how burn decks normally side. I thought they generally have, your life gain for when you stall into time, and then just MSTs for floodgates, like a Regeki, a Dark Hole for floodgate monsters, and just a couple of different burn cards that are better in certain matchups.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect them to just go, well, you know what, this is a really heavy effect negation deck or something. Or they're just natty maining infinite typhoons. I got to take my Samochis out
it's
and
always
play a
just
standard burn deck.
It's always just triple MST for the Royal Decree, and then, like, the whole point of burn is there's not really much point siding heavily because you're basically just trying to cheese your opponent out anyway.
Yeah, and the more you dilute your deck, the more that the one draw you need to have to keep going, you're going to draw like a Typhoon and just die.
I know whenever I side with burn, not that I play burn a lot, the general end game for me is always I'm trying to like basically slow their deck down enough that I have time to draw more of my combo pieces and kill them. Like, if you can flip a Shadowing Producing Mirror, it's fine. If it means it gives you like an extra turn where they can't kill you because they're not resolving a Falcon, then it just gives you that extra time to draw the cards.
It's certainly handy.
Alright, so Chauncey's on 12,000 life points. There's been a gift card and an upstart. Really hope Cody's going somewhere with this. He's not just like...
real gift card and a real upstart.
He's just like, no, you can have some life points.
Just take it, man. It's all good.
It's fine, we're all friends here.
It's fine. I'm totally not about to just draw 6 cards.
He's thinking
Oh, it's on
about it.
3,100. That's kind of awkward.
That's fine.
Well, the extra 100's another card that he can't have.
Yeah. Well, he pays 100, right?
You pay a K.
You pay 1,000.
Yeah.
It does mean he can't just fatly life equalizer a guy. This is Chain the Reckless? No, yeah.
Nah, this is end phase.
Yeah. Oh, that ain't great. Dragon as well. Oh, the hope for escape. Oh, it would have been so good.
It would have been an on-zero number of cards.
Scott Jones is definitely here today.
Yep.
We've had a lot of requests. We're waiting
Did
till...
he end up winning that match?
No. He lost round 1 against Burning Abyss in the mirror match because in game 3, about a minute before time, he made a Dante and his opponent went Stormforth Majesty's Fiend and then he scooped.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
That usually gets you there.
Yep. So we're definitely probably going to do a scooter feature today. Probably when he's on the bubble or when he's versing someone like Juon, because that's all sorts of value for all the reasons that you guys want that. We want that. So here we go. Paying 1,000. Draw a bunch of cards.
Draws 4, right?
Yeah, yep. It would be 5.
That 100 would make it 5.
Yeah.
The struggle.
Look, I'll take 4 free cards. That seems reasonable.
I mean, they want to be good cards because you have to deal 12k damage. So it pretty
But
much has
that's the
to
thing,
be like...
No, but that's the thing. Like with the new style of deck, he doesn't, because right now he can just set like a Samochi, a life equalizer, and a gift card.
True.
But
I do forget about the life equalizer.
life equalizer is like the very important part of the way this deck now plays.
Mhm.
Because it honestly used to be you had to draw a nurse and like some combination of like 3 gift cards or like Paths of Destiny or something. But now you can honestly just be like, oh, I have 1 gift card, a Samochi, and a life equalizer.
Yep.
And I've like upstarted you twice, and you've attacked me a little bit, so you're dead now.
I'm actually really glad this card hasn't been reprinted yet.
The only thing I hate is that the game promo ones curve a lot.
Do they?
Yeah, like
So what's the other print? I thought it was just like the GX game
that's it.
promo. That's it?
That's it. That's
Oh,
it.
that is great.
That's the only print of the card.
I'm actually very happy with that, mostly because the less Nurse Refugees that are out there, the less people that are going to play this deck.
I remember going to a Nationals once and trying to find 3, and a dude was like, I value them at
Why?
like, because I'm an evil human being.
Did you want to play them at the event?
No.
You just wanted to own them?
It was more like it was the biggest, like, in Australia, there's like, locals are what, 20 people or something.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So it's like, if there's no so much at your locals, there's never going to be any. Like,
Yep.
It's not like someone's just going to rock up one day and like, I found 3 behind my couch. It's always going to be like, you need to find the one dude who just has them in his folder.
Yeah.
So I got them, and he's like, I value them at 20 each. And I'm like, all right, if you find another human being in this room who'll buy them for any amount of money, I'll pay 20. And like, at the end of the day, he's like, I'll do them for 5. That's what I thought.
D. Smith the Savage.
You got to hustle people, mate. You got to hustle.
So we have Chauncey here, negging 1,000 off himself for Soul Charge, which usually against burn you never want to do.
I like that Cody chained the Hope for Escape, like, so that he could just draw that extra card.
Yeah, and he knew the Durandal was coming.
Yeah.
Good old Soul Charge not
So
being cost.
importantly, and I don't know whether Cody will realize this or not. This is one of those like it sucks when there's cards that get played enough that they come up, but not enough you might not have read the whole thing.
Yep.
Durandal can't stop Scarecrow or Battle Fader.
Really?
It says when a monster effect is activated on the field.
That's important. That's important.
That's actually very
I'm also
important.
assuming you can't do the shuffle hand effect while you're hellbent. Sorry, while you have no cards in your hand.
Hellbent. Yeah, good one. Madness. I don't know, actually. It says both players, right?
I believe so. I would assume like the same old can't activate an effect that doesn't do anything would apply there.
Yeah, but you can card destruction while you have 0 cards in hand.
Can you really?
Yeah, as long as your opponent has cards in hand, I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, okay.
You can't because costs and
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Like, same with your opponent. But I'm pretty sure you can card destruction
Yeah.
while you have 0. That
So-
was the old empty jar finisher. Was
Oh yeah, you'd set your hand in card destruction when you had like 1, right?
you
You'd feather a phoenix for the card destruction.
well no, you just set your hand and card destruction them, and you draw none. They discard 5, draw 5. And then
So what you're telling me is you were also the kind of guy that played empty jar?
only because every time I played it, I opened Morphing Jar, Book of Moon Taiyu.
You're a horrible human being sometimes.
Mhm.
You used to play it in the team events of the Cardi, right?
Yep. Team events at the card house are quite odd, and 4 shared fields. So the most reliable way to kill everyone is to just deck 2 of your opponents out.
Seems good.
So that's a life equalizer, I believe.
I think so.
Yep, I'm pretty sure it's a life.
I don't know what these burn cards look like. Well, both lives went to 3k, so I'm assuming so.
Yep, says life equalizer.
Interesting that Chauncey decided not to Durandal that.
I guess
Seems like losing 10k is the kind of card you want to negate.
I guess he's just hoping he's going to be able to stop whatever murders him.
That's Samoichi, right?
Yep, which he can't negate with Durandal,
No, because it's continuous.
but he's going to try.
He's going to try, and hopefully Cody points to it.
If not, I will judge call.
Okay, yeah.
No.
We'll just... Because Papa Durandal is when a normal spell trap is activated, which is quite important. I mean, the amount of people that have tried to Book of Moon my Durandal, it's just not a thing you can do. All right, we got the game state back up. Probably
Yeah.
going to need to get Chauncey to reset his Doll Fusion.
Yeah, that's probably important.
So we have Cody going for the try and guess and the gift card. So that's that's some sweet lethal damage anyway. Yeah, he had lethal +1 negation, Dan. Good old Cody Matthews, the Savage.
I do enjoy that. Rather than electing to fix the game state, he's like,
No, I just kill you.
Yeah. No, he's dead. He died. He's already dead. It's fine. By the time he walked away and came
Stop
back.
judging. He's already dead.
Yep. So yeah, that's the deck. You can be on like 1,000 life points, like 900 turns, and then you
It's
just
interesting.
like,
I really didn't know about Life Equalizer. I didn't know that was the key component to this combo
that's
deck.
the like. I think this deck. I don't know if it topped, but it was definitely like played at an ARG earlier this year.
Oh, alright.
Like post try and guess.
Well, these sort of decks sort of like, they show up in a top cut every now and again.
No, it is not Chauncey Wigglestove. Oh god, if it was, it would be so exciting. No, it's one of those things where anytime you see like a rogue deck that's like gets one random card in a new set, there's always going to be that one person who's like, I'm sure it's good now. They got one.
Guys!
Ignore Shaddolls, everyone. This
3
one
more
rogue
gift
deck-
cards.
Yeah, this one rogue deck got a lot of support. But I mean, in a deck like this, you look at it and go, the whole thing is you draw Samochi or Reficule and 3 of any combination of gift cards, and the game just gave you 3 more gift
Yep.
cards. You're kind of like, yep, that's fine.
That does it. I mean, it makes the deck better. The thing that's kind of good again with these burn decks though is if they ever become one of the top tier decks in a format, you can just side 6 cards for them and they basically never can win.
Des Wombat. Please look up Des Wombat.
Isn't Des Wombat the one where you flip it? Oh, that's
No,
Des
that's
Koala
Des
where
Koala.
it burns them. Is Des Wombat where... Oh,
Des
jeez.
Wombat is the burn side card of choice.
Oh, okay.
Look at it.
Oh.
1600.
Oh, that is
You
delicious.
take no burn damage. Reficule cannot beat this card. Reficule is only 14. They run like no other monsters except card car, and they take no burn damage.
Reminds me of the last time I played Exodia, and I never played Exodia again. I got game 1 Morphing Jarred, and game 2 he summoned Protector of the Sanctuary into my triple Hope for Escape. And I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing this again.
Yep. Protector of the Sanctuary has a lot of weird rulings.
Is it like Prohibition where it has like 45 rulings?
It's mostly just things like you can't flip a Morphing Jar while there's a Protector of the Sanctuary on the field, I'm pretty sure. But you...
Seems like a pretty simple card overall.
Yeah, but there's weird things like if you flip a Morphing Jar and then you chain call the Haunted on this card, what happens?
Yeah, what happens, Dan?
You both discard your hand and your opponent doesn't draw. It's a pretty cute combo. if you
Just
get
your
it.
opponent doesn't draw.
Yep. Because it says your opponent can't draw cards.
This thing has the combo with the one that makes everyone shuffle their hands back in, right?
Well, this card works with Durandal,
Neat.
but like...
Well, that was one of the original artifact combos, right? It was Durandal, Droll, and Lockbird you.
Yeah.
Savage.
So yeah, cute. Never play any of these cards, please.
No. Oh, please don't. Though, if you really want to tick off Judge Staff, make sure you just play pole position.
And make sure your opponent's playing Gravekeepers.
Yep.
No, so the whole point is, like, this deck showed up at an ARG, and, like, that was the thing that was different, was he's like, oh, why would I want to draw 3 gift cards when I can draw a Life Equalizer and 1 gift card? That seems
I mean,
like
it makes
much
sense.
better.
It's a card that puts them into range kind of perfectly to just gift card them once.
It's kind of like when you play any, like, exceptionally linear deck, like any sort of Synchron deck that's just trying to make Quasar, and you're like, well, I can either play some form of consistency, or I can just jam every card that potentially makes Quasar, like every 2-card combo, and just run a series of 2-card combos. Like, the whole thing is you can either run, just the gift cards and the Reficule, and that's your game plan, or you can be like, oh, I can draw this, or this, or this, and like, just less chance of you drawing nothing.
Certainly seems to make the combo more efficient.
So we're at this stage again. We're at 11k versus 2k. Cody's under Reckless for 1 turn. He only has 3 cards in hand.
So I'm assuming his 2-set has to be like a Hope for Escape and a Way Not to Die.
You'd really hope so. Well,
There's the T-Roar.
There's the way not to die.
Has he
So
got
that's
the
nice.
out? Nope.
You gotta love not dying.
I'm personally a fan.
The 2 decks being used are Nurse Reficule, Anti-Cure, Burn, Samochi, Shenanigans, and Shaddoll. So there's the Hope for Escape. That's nice. Still 4 cards.
Probably.
That's still fine.
It's a non-zero number of cards.
Yep. And does he just get Lava Golem now? Is that what happens?
Seems like that's likely. I'm always really afraid of summoning more than 1 monster against a burn deck.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't recommend it. I
Yep.
mean, you're kind of under the gun against Nurse Burn more than the other decks because it can just kill you in one chain.
Also, Flash of the Hand. Chauncey has drawn Soul Charge.
That seems,
Life Equalizer in response to Soul Charge seems like it would be really funny.
I really hope that happens.
That That would be...
Soul Charge for 3. How about you're dead?
How about you're dead indeed?
I mean, I can understand Chauncey's position of the draw of just really wanting to make Arcanite just to push through the back row. But it's only going to be good if you hit 2 store cards in 1 turn with it. And here we see Cody drawing 5 cards of Hope for Escape, which seems rather likely that he's going to pull through with a combo. So we see at least a card, another Hope for Escape, which he can't use at this point. Draw for turn. What do we have? Reckless for 2 more. Lava Golem. Dan, you can bottomless a Lava Golem, can't you?
Can you pull up the text of bottomless?
I sure can. I'm pretty sure it just says when a monster would be summoned, but
When your
When your
opponent
opponent
summons
summons a monster.
Yeah, you can. 'Cause
Yeah, I
your
figured.
opponent's still summoning the monster.
Yeah.
I've had people summon Warning a Lava Golem before.
I've done it.
It seems like,
I think most often I've torrentialed on the Lava Golem.
yeah, it's still funny though. It's like, I'm gonna summon Warning a Lava Golem. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Playing a deck with a Reficule. It's
Deal.
like, it's like there are things I summon you don't want to kill.
Yeah.
Does Cody just have like 900 cards now?
Yeah, he hoped for escape for 5, and then he reckless, and, you know, stuff's
Good,
happening.
Good.
He has cards. And
Hopefully multiple of those cards are I don't die.
I mean, how many Fadas does he play? Does he only just play the 2 Swifts?
Yeah.
This man is brave.
He runs 2 Swift, 3 Waboku, 3 Threatening Roar.
Is there only 9 ways in this deck to not die for a turn?
There's more than 9. No, there's
I guess Trap of Darkness counts.
There's 8. Trap of Darkness counts. One Day Peace counts.
There's the flip of the extra. Oh, is he?
He's gaining, I think.
So this is the Soul Charge. He's gaining 3,000 himself.
Not dying seems reasonable.
Not the best use of the card. So there we see the old Soul Charge for 5 against a burn deck.
Yep. Well,
Not a play I'd recommend.
Seems fine when your opponent's like out to things.
But he's on infinite cards at the moment. I mean, I could kind of get it if you were Soul Charging for one thing and he had...
But like, he's going to Life
Life
Equalizer, right?
Equalizer,
Like,
yeah.
we'd accept it at this point that like he's going to win.
That's true.
by
I mean, maybe Life Equalizer means he has to be on over 8k, right?
He has to be 8,000 more than Cody.
Right.
So it's actually not terrible.
That actually makes a good deal of sense.
Because now
then.
he has to draw 3 gift cards.
Yes. It does remove Life Equalizer as an out. Does Cody just have all monsters in hand? It also makes the Hope for Escape significantly worse.
Yes. Also, apparently earlier there was a Lava Golem and then a Duality, but it's unfortunately far too late for us to go back and fix that now.
Yep, and as Bod's just put in the chat, yeah, Soul Charge in response to... Life Equalizer in response to Soul Charge. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Was really hoping I'd see it happen this game.
He has, like, legit, looks like 3 cards, Swifts. There are some spells and traps there, but...
Yeah, he has a non-zero number of monsters in hand.
But it's things like, your Hope for Escape isn't gated by your life points, it's really gated by your opponent's. If you're on, like, 1400, like 24, like he is now, and your opponent's on, like, 3k, you're like, oh, well, my Hope for Escape really sucks. Like,
It's quite a poor card,
you
yes.
you can't pay down forever. You can bust their life points up forever, but you can't go down forever. Is that a Super Poly?
I think he's super pulling the Nurse Refuculi.
Ugh.
I'm assuming it's a dark, because it's the fallen one.
It sure is. She's a sweet, evil nurse waifu.
Good old Winter-kun getting in.
Do you use life from Soul Charge on a 1-day? I don't think you do.
It's not damage, it pays life. I'm pretty sure one day says neither player can take damage.
Is it?
It's the old lose life first take damage,
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's the lose life thing. That's right. Because there's the whole... Otherwise, you'd have a Prime Material Dragon on the field, and you'd Soul Charge for 5.
Oh,
and gain
goody.
5k. Well, you could Soul Charge the Prime Material.
Yeah, no.
That'd be so good.
Yeah.
And by so good, I mean situational and awful.
Hey, mate, Prime Material, you can discard a card to negate the Regeki.
And you can go Soul Charge for 5, gain 5k. Seems reasonable. Pokemon better, Pokemon inferior. Hi, do you like Gengar and Chandelure?
I do.
Good.
I'm a big fan.
Good.
Heat wave and all you guys. So, Cody seems to have 3 card cards in hand and 5 set.
Well,
So there's the is that the life equalizer?
Life
Which he
equalizer
can't
won't
flip
work.
because the.
But that's fine.
I'm assuming, yeah, he's gonna heal him.
So he can heal him.
Heal you. I'd like to gain 600 life points, please.
I'm not sure he can do a lot about that either. Just scratching it. Just oh god, it's coming. The inevitability of it all. Watches his opponent goes, "You're on 11,000 for now. For now." Also, is that a Bowden Temnik emoticon? Because
I believe so. It's one of the only reasons to sub to ARG is you get the sickest Twitch emotes.
this is fantastic.
Also because ARG are cool guys and they paywall you watching their streams in HD.
All right, so we've had the. So he's gonna get life equalized, right? Oh,
There's the
the
Durandal.
Wabaku.
Which appears to resolve because I'm pretty sure
Well,
Chauncey is pretty interested in not dying.
Yeah, because it's like at this point it's like, oh, I could Durandal that, but then he knows his life.
The life
equalizer
equalizer is just gonna, it's just gonna get him.
Yes, Fraser did Savage Bowden somewhat in that article, which wasn't great.
Pretty sure I seem to remember from the feature he couldn't bottomless at that point because he just lost to the Gaios, but
Oh,
I don't
pay
remember it all
2K
too
for
well.
warning. No, stop. I want you to have life points. You need to have 8K more than me. That's the point, right?
it is.
That's terrible.
This is actually a very poor position for Cody. He's got the Durandal to...
He's just awkwardly under, like... He's awkwardly close to dying, but his opponent still isn't super healed like he's meant to be.
Yeah.
Because, like, if there was, like, it sounds dumb, but if there was, like, a mathematician and Chauncey was dumb at, like, silly enough to swing with it, he'd be like, oh, good, well, that's still enough. But it's kind of like, no, you're either taking a construct hit to the face and dying, or other bad things happen to you. It's odd that, like, there's very few ways to, like, very few people play cards in this game that make you lose life. Except against this deck, it just happens to be the exact out. And he's just drawn like, oh, these are all my self-burn cards, and just burning himself as much as possible to make.
And
me
there's
the handshake.
Cody scooping, it looks like. So,
Yeah.
I can't life equalize you. You don't have enough life, and you have Papa Durandal on the field.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if you see everything, right? Although, yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's a
It's a very good point, Bowden. Just El Shaddolling to remove the target for Swift Scarecrow so he could push the damage through.
It's always interesting. Alright, so Sekiro has gotten odd. No, we do not have a link to the bracket. I'm not sure anyone would know who most people are. So
It's mostly just QLD regulars, and yeah, we're in Swiss rounds currently.
yeah. Hey, the majority of Australia isn't pretty awful. There's just a lot of density around certain players who are super awful and drag the rest of us down. And there's us. We ain't great.
Play cards sometimes.
I'm the expert on Nurse Burn. Clearly a skilled player who plays
Yeah.
real decks.
But I'm going to have to interview the Nurse Burn guy. It's like, so... Oh, wait, no, I'm interviewing Shaddoll. Excellent.
Yep, I think we will interview Cody though.
We should.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a big fan of the whole Matthews family.
All right, cool. I'll go grab them now.
Sounds good. Yeah, man, sit on down. Put on the headset. All right, here I am with Chauncey, our winner of that round. So that puts you up to 2-0 now?
No, 1-1.
Okay. So what'd you lose the first round to?
Henry. He was
Henry.
Playing, yeah.
Savaged by the hamster. So, did you know what Cody was playing before he
No.
started? So you just sat down and suddenly it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I have to play against the burn deck.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
So did you just constantly have that tension the whole time of, well, he can just flip 4 cards and I die straight away?
Yeah, I thought I was going to die during like the first standby phase. So,
Yeah, it can definitely happen with the nurse deck.
Yeah.
But, you played around it rather well by lowering your life so you couldn't get equalized and just Durandling him into the ground.
Yeah.
So that's really handy, having some self-negation in there.
Yeah. I misplayed though a few times when I tried to activate Durandal and stuff.
I mean, that's fine. Durandal's got this very small word on it that says normal.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come up all that often usually.
Yeah.
So how did you side for the matchup?
I decided in 3 MSTs.
Just the 3 MSTs?
Yeah, I didn't have any trap stuns or anything.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Just what took out emptinesses or?
Yeah, I took out my 3 vanities. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Everything else sort of has like some utility. You can bottomless the lava golem.
Yeah.
Evac like a card E to slow him down a turn, which is really handy. Or evac your monster in response to a Swift Scarecrow,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Wait. Oh, true. Yeah.
Because yeah, it has to target, which is another really nice thing. So you can like attack with your Winder. They Swift it. You Shaddoll your monster away.
I could have done that in one then.
Yeah, I think someone pointed that out in the chat.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, if you don't play against Burn a lot, there's like a lot of different ways. You have to play really like inefficiently in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Like I soul charge for 5. And
Yeah,
things
just
like
did your life down so you couldn't go.
Yeah.
Like it's strange. Like I saw you soul charge to 5, and naturally I'm kind of like, oh god, he just paid 5k against the Burn deck. But it was absolutely correct to just get under the hope for escapes, get under the life equalizers and such, which is definitely right. It really just gets you there. So there's one thing I wanted to ask you on your deck. 43 cards.
Yeah.
Was that a decision, or was that one of those, man, I don't know what else to cut, I'm just going to play
Yeah.
43, just get it in?
Well, yeah, and I kept it that way because that way I have more range for siding out cards as well.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Less chance to draw your glow up bulb.
Yeah. And I like having every one off, so.
Yeah, one-offs are fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's about it. All right, cool, man. Well,
Thanks.
best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Hopefully you don't have to play against Nurseburn again.
Yeah, hope not. Okay.
Jeez. Is anyone using an agent deck in this tournament? That's your favorite. I also am a big fan of agents. I'm going to go ahead and go on the side of probably no one's playing agents today, but it would be pretty sweet. We get no low-effort Cody Matthews in here.
You sure are.
All right, mate, I'll jump up and let Dan talk to you.
Oh, the nurse burn man. Take a seat,
Joseph
friend.
Stalin himself, some call him.
Yes, literal Hitler
I've been
Cody
called
Matthews.
a terrorist by John Ritzau.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's you, mate.
All right, hello Cody, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Good. So, nurse burn.
Yeah.
Why this?
Well, literally yesterday at the YCS, I saw someone play it and I was like, I haven't played that in a while.
That's fair.
Thought I'd give it a crack.
Yeah, it's interesting. It crops up. There's like one ARG, and then yesterday Milana came up again. So I saw you play, and I thought, we'd probably have to give this guy a feature. It could be good, man. It could be the best deck.
Yeah, but, you know.
Soul Charge 5, too strong?
Yeah.
That's fair. So, a couple of interesting things, even like from it. Obviously, Nurse Burn itself is kind of off the wall. You sided the third copy of Nurse Reficule? Is there a reason you don't main 3?
It just gets too cloggy sometimes. Like, even though, yes, I would be starting again, it'll be cloggy, but it's just, I'd rather not start with them because I normally draw 2 and it's just terrible.
Yeah. Like, I think we saw at some point you had like 9 cards in hand or something completely unreasonable, but it was like
7 monsters.
it was like triple card, double Reficule, Lava Golem, and it was like
Yep.
some of these are spells and traps that'd be nifty. Just dropping the monster count makes a lot of sense. What matchup? So most of the rest of your side deck, there's like 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror,
Yep.
which obviously doesn't affect Reficule, which is nifty. And then there's just traditional burn, like Ceasefires, Magic Cylinders, Geometry, Secret Battles, Just Desserts.
Yep.
So what sort of matchups would you go, okay, I'm going to sign into traditional burn rather than like the nurse burn strategy?
More likely Cliff Force than anything because they just generally have more monsters on field and against Cliff Force when they go Tribute for Disc, you can a Geometry which stops them and you can still do 15,000 with a Just Desserts or a
No, that's
thing.
fair. I mean, you can, I guess they have the same problem as like what we just saw then, where because they're paying life like a lot with Scout, it's quite hard to like get them so high that you can then life equalize them to kill them.
Yep.
So you're much better off waiting for them to like pay down to 6,400 and then murder them.
Yep.
No, that's fair. Cool. And your extra deck. Creative fusions are always really, really cool. Is there any reason you picked these ones in particular, or did you just grab every random fusion you could and jam them into a deck?
At first I just grabbed whatever I could find, and then I was like, I really like this card. I'll chuck it in. So I chucked in Blair's Ultimate, I chucked in Amulet Dragon, and the Dark Magician Girl, because I just think they look pretty nice.
Yep. Cool. Are you worried you're going to lose to a small child who's going to savage you because he has a 15-card fusion deck?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's always the worry.
Yeah, one day, especially playing at certain venues where little kids are likely to have 15-card fusion decks. Cool. Well, it's good to see you playing an interesting deck. You're X2 now, right?
Yeah.
There is still hope for you. There is still hope for escape. It is not large, but it is there. You just have to go undefeated from now on. How hard can it be?
Seems pretty reasonable.
All right, good luck. Good
All
luck.
right.
I believe in you.
Thanks.
All right, see you, Cody. Thanks for
See ya.
that. All right, cool. Well, that wraps up round 2 for everyone. We've seen a couple of interesting games so far. We've seen Gigas with 9 Machiners and Nurse Burn and whatnot. For those of you who are aware of Scotty Jones, he is definitely here, and he is definitely wearing a Brady Bunch t-shirt. I don't know where he got it. I assume Bowden gave it to him because they love it, right? Like, he loves it. I'm sure he's part of the team officially now. There's no way he couldn't be. He's the best player in Australia. Just to clear some things up, he's not Card House champion anymore. I am. He was Card House champion circa like a year and a half ago. It's very important to me that people know this. Does the Nurseburn deck give their opponents life points to equalize the works? Yes, that's basically the strategy. So basically, traditionally Nurseburn was you open Reficule and like 3 gift cards and you kill them that way. The way it works now is you gift card them twice, they're on 11k, then you just go like life equalizer, make them 3k, a single gift card will kill them at this point. So that's kind of cool. Excellent. Well, we've seen a couple of interesting decks. Moving forward now, we'll probably be seeing a bit more of meta decks, especially as we move towards the finals. And depending on how Scotty Jones goes next round and who he's versing, there may or may not be a Scooter feature match. And we just definitely have to feature Jai Hardwell, greasiest man alive. There's a lovely mark on our door from where he touched it earlier that is very prominent even from here. And then Ashiko, defending champion, is also here. We'll probably get a feature for him. And yeah, should be a good day. So make sure you all stay tuned for some more Yu-Gi-Oh! After the break.